What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about the most important things you need to know heading into the stock market tomorrow. We do have a couple decent sized news catalysts to go over with Apple and Meta, so definitely stay tuned for that. But Tom, looking at the heat map from today, it was all over the place. There really wasn't any main momentum or direction with the market today. We saw a couple stocks up like Tesla and a couple other just random stocks, but for the most part, it was pretty red. Microsoft, Apple, the chip stocks were down, so it was just a boring day.
Yeah, it really was. Like you said, the market was pretty much flat to down overall. The SPY itself, honestly, was pretty flat throughout the day. We did end up kind of falling off, though, early on and consolidating a lot down here around that 390 support. That has been a huge support over the past few days, and to see it still hold up right around there is pretty big. I will say, Mike, I was worried there. We fell below 390. I thought we were going to have a huge sell-off, but we only pushed down around 50 cents to around 388.45 and then started popping back up above 390. So we're going to have to see if we can hold up around this 389 to 390 level. I think it's going to be pretty big, Mike. If we do break below this, I feel like the market might start selling off in a bit more of with a bit more, I guess, enthusiasm to the downside. But whenever we look at the main stocks causing this, I feel like, Mike, mainly it's been the chip sector. We've been seeing AMD fall down day after day along with Nvidia, and it seems like the SPY keeps pushing lower as long as these chip stocks keep going. So I'm curious to see exactly how the market's going to shape up for this week because, like you said, that heat map is not too promising right now.
Sure that. And a lot of people are probably wondering, why is the market acting like this? And there are a couple of reasons why. Here are the two main ones I'm seeing. The first thing I want to do is actually go to the SPY daily chart. For the most part, over the past month or so, a lot of the big name market moving companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and others like them were pretty overbought to the upside. A lot of these companies had like 30% pops over the course of like a month or two. It's just unsustainable and they just over recovered. So over the past couple weeks, we just started to see those stocks start to normalize, which is a good thing. But now they're like really starting to bleed off. And the other reason that goes hand in hand with this is just the absolute rocketing interest rates. So basically, if we go to TNX, we can see that has been exploding. But even if we go to like a more simple version, which is the US 10-year Treasury, we can see right here on CNBC how it has just been blasting to the upside. And it has been blasting to the upside all year long. In the beginning of this year, the US 10-year Treasury was paying around 1.45%. Now it's paying 3.34%. That is a gigantic difference, especially over the course of less than a year, right? That's giant. And basically, whenever we see interest rates rise, it has a direct negative impact on stock valuations. So the higher interest rates go, for the most part, the worse it is for stocks. And it's especially bad when interest rates move in a very quick and like volatile manner. Like it's not the best thing to see, especially for the short term. In addition to interest rates rising, having a negative impact on stock prices, it also makes mortgages more expensive and just increases the rates of basically everything.
Yeah, it really does. It just has a big trickle down effect. I know a lot of people like to talk about trickle down economics. This is one of those things where whenever rates and yields and everything like that start rising or falling, it definitely trickles into almost every other aspect of the market. And that's what Mike is really trying to hit on there. And it's a really big thing, obviously. It's going to affect a lot of banks. It's going to affect jobs. Obviously, it's affecting what the Feds do, obviously, with their benchmark rates and everything. So it has a big impact on everything, especially the inflation even and stuff like that. So we're gonna still hear a lot more about it over the next upcoming couple of months, Mike, and kind of going back to that TNX on the daily chart. I do want to say we're getting very close to that upper level again. So I'm curious, Mike, if we're going to maybe have a nice double top up here, or if this TNX is going to keep blasting, we're going to keep moving forward. Honestly, I wouldn't even put it past it that we could keep going up because it's been so crazy the past couple of years. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we went over 3.5%.
Yeah, so like the big thing is like we just want to see a decrease in volatility with interest rates because like when they just blast to the upside like they are now, it definitely causes a lot of panic and it directly hurts stock valuations. Now, here's the thing, if we're being completely honest, we all knew interest rates had to rise at some point and the feds had to increase the fed funds rate. And this is not a bad thing because when you have inflation at basically 10%, like you cannot have that for long periods of time or there will be some serious problems in the economy. So while we are seeing interest rates rising, it's not the end of the world because this will also, kind of slow down inflation, which is it's very important that we solve that problem first.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, high inflation, it hurts everybody from the consumer, even to businesses, obviously. And now we're going to see it start to hurt the jobs market as the feds try to combat it. It's going to be a pretty rough next couple months, I think. But like you said, it's going to be needed. Obviously, we need these rates to start slowing down, like you said. So we'll have to see what happens. I know Powell and the feds are going to have a big impact on this. And kind of talking about Powell, Mike, he's going to be speaking at 9:10 a.m. Eastern time this week on Thursday. It's not going to be the biggest thing in the world, but definitely look out for it, guys. 9:10 a.m. Eastern time, Thursday morning, he will be speaking. It is a bit different of a time, Mike, isn't it? 9:10. It's a little he usually speaks like at a whole hour or half hour mark usually.
True. So he's just speaking at like the Cato Institute's conference. It's not an interest rate hike or anything like that, but whenever Powell speaks, he definitely has an influence. But Tom, I know we have Powell speaking this week. We have a couple earnings scattered throughout the week. What's on the schedule?
Yeah, it's actually some pretty big ones. So tomorrow before open, looks like we have Neo, Mike. That's going to be pretty big. I know a lot of the clean energy stocks did pretty well today. Even some of them like Rivian and Lucid, I saw were having some pretty good moves in the middle of the day. Then tomorrow after hours, we're going to have GameStop or GME along with Asana, which is pretty big. I know Asana has been one that I've really been eyeing up lately, Mike. I know Moskovitz, like we talked about, has been dumping tons of money at, what was it, Mike? $1 billion in there. So
Yeah.
that's a lot. I'm definitely gonna be watching that. And then Thursday we have Fuel Cell Energy, FCEL. I know that one's been on fire lately as well. It's been pretty hyped up. And then DocuSign on Thursday after close, and then Kroger Friday. So definitely some big ones this week, Mike. I mean, nothing crazy like we've seen the past few weeks, but still, I mean, Neo's pretty big and DocuSign, those are some pretty big ones there.
All right, there we go. And then, Tom, I know there was some decent-sized news with the market-moving companies Apple and Meta. What's going on?
Yeah, they both have events coming up. I will say Zuckerberg announced an event today, but Apple's event is going to be coming up tomorrow, guys. So be on the lookout for this. They're going to have a live stream going on. They're going to be unveiling the iPhone 14. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, but this is going to be a pretty big unveiling. A lot of people like to say with Apple to buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal. So we'll have to see what happens with this play, Mike. But nonetheless, they're going to be announcing the iPhone 14. They're saying 4 new models of this. They're probably going to have some pretty crazy price points. Some people are suggesting with inflation going up, they might have to raise the prices of some of these. So I'm curious to see exactly what they say and what type of new technology will be coming out. But be on the lookout for these live streams. They usually generate a ton of hype and a ton of viewers on YouTube. I'll probably be watching it tomorrow in the middle of the day, and just be on the lookout, guys. It's going to be a huge event. And anytime they announce any type of new technology, Apple stock usually gets pretty volatile, at least in the short term.
All right, good stuff. And then what's going on with Meta and Mark Zuckerberg?
This is actually pretty cool. So Zuckerberg announced an event for October 11th, and they're going to be pretty much unveiling some new headsets from Meta. They're talking about really getting some of these headsets going. I know that we've talked about this over the past couple months, Mike, but this technology that they've been using in these headsets are really coming along, and Meta's been kind of updating us month after month on what's going on, and this event is going to be awesome. So they're going to be talking about a lot of the technology used in these headsets, also just augmented reality and stuff like that. And what I really like to hear is it says right here, the company Meta believes the technology will eventually be used in a pair of lightweight glasses that can replace a user's smartphone. So they're pretty much saying you could have a smartphone inside of your glasses. You won't even have to have a phone anymore. So that sounds pretty big, Mike, for the future. I know that might blow some people away there, but Meta is really trying to do some stuff here, and they are spending a lot of money, $10 billion a year on Zuckerberg's vision, they're saying here.
Yep. So those are definitely some bold statements. And I know Meta has just been investing a ton of money, just like you said, into like virtual reality and the metaverse and all that cool stuff. So I'm actually really looking forward to this event. I own Meta stock. It's a long-term investment. The stock has been beat down significantly over the past year. I think they're trading at a really good valuation, and I'm very excited for the future of this company. But either way, thanks for the update, Tom. And let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Netflix to the downside.
Yeah, Netflix here. They had a low of day down there around 214.77, but if I see them break below 217, I'll look for a nice play to the downside.
All right, then with the next one, we have Spotify also to the downside.
Yeah, Spotify, go ahead and make them break down below 101.50.
And then with the last one, we have good old Square, but to the upside.
Yeah, Square. Okay, make Square go ahead and break above $66. If they break above that, then watch for them to run up to that resistance up around 68.50.
Sounds great. So we are watching Square for a potential day trade to the upside tomorrow, only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. And then we are watching Spotify and Netflix for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. But we also have to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, and that is PK Dog in the Stocked Up Discord chat. You're brand new to the chat, but you've been very active, so you definitely deserve a shout out. Thanks so much for all of your activity, and definitely keep it up. Guys, join the Stocked Up Discord. It's completely free, and it's that first link in the description and the comments down below. It's an awesome community to be a part of, and it's free, and you get free day trades every morning and some quick news bots. It's definitely worth joining. You can network with a bunch of great people. But Tom, do you have any favorite setups, any favorite stocks, or anything you were watching for tomorrow?
You know, I had to mention this today, Mike, because we haven't talked about it in a long time, but look at Bitcoin today. This is insane to see how Bitcoin just fell down here today. It had a 1,000 point drop. I don't know what's going on here. Look at the daily chart, though, for Bitcoin. It looks like it's moving back to the downside. I just wanted to point this out because it's getting very low, just like a lot of these stocks are. So it's just pretty insane. I know we never usually talk about Bitcoin anymore, especially with it being really low. Obviously, once it starts to go back up, we'll probably start to talk about it a little bit more. But for right now, it's on a pretty bad downtrend. We're down below 20K pretty well. And I just wanted to point out that was a pretty bad intraday move today, Mike. I mean, look at that big drop there right around noon. I mean, that is just a huge drop off. So can't believe we had that big of a drop, and hopefully Bitcoin can start to recover back. But in the short term, it's looking pretty rough. So be careful with Mara and Riot out there, guys.
Yeah, I feel like everything has just been getting destroyed over the past year, Tom. Whether you're looking at cryptocurrencies, stocks, bonds, some commodities like gold and silver have been kind of lackluster, but then again, some of these commodities like crude oil have been booming to the upside. But for the most part, a bunch of assets have just been getting destroyed, and even real estate prices are very, very slowly starting to just calm down a little bit. So the whole economy is kind of whack right now. But if you guys like the video and you like the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And besides that, let's end the week strong.